Welcome, Coven members, and welcome back for our August wrap-up. How many books did you read in August?
I read 6. How many books did you read?
I read 5.
I win.
Overachiever. We have all of our books here that we read. We're going to tell you a little bit about them, and then what our review is. Should you read it? Should you not? Did we like it? Did we not?
We're going to find out.
We're going to find out.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to start.
All right, first book I read in August was The Wolf King by Lauren Pelfreyman. And this is a trilogy, I believe it is going to be. Third book is not out. It is a romantasy, fantasy. It is a werewolf shapeshifter romance. Forbidden love, enemies to lovers, chef's kiss.
You know when the third book is coming out?
It does not have a date, which is very frustrating.
Okay.
The second book I will talk about later, but it does end on a cliffhanger.
You and cliffhangers.
I can't tell you how many books I have read this year that have had cliffhangers, and I'm tired of it. I'm just joking. I love it, and just keep giving them to me. Yeah, I'm just gonna be a big ball of anxiety, but it's fine. What else is new? This book is about Aurora. She's a princess, and the night before that, she is going to be forced to marry this awful person. She is at an event where these people make the wolves fight each other, and it's like brutal, and it's like fight to the death. Then she is like over it and stops it, and the main alpha there, his name is Callum. All right, so Callum is the alpha that is in the ring, and he is up against this like small, weaker werewolf. And Aurora is just like, I'm over this, and then puts a stop to it. And so the werewolves that night actually escape. And so Callum decides to steal Aurora. So, but she does go with him kind of willingly also. So, I think she's just kind of over the whole living under the shadows of like mean men and wants maybe something new. So they go on through this little adventure of like man versus werewolf, and because they're at odds.
So what did you think of it yourself? Your personal opinions?
I ate this book up. I loved it. I want more. I immediately went into the second book. I also hear that the audiobook is really good too. I personally read this one.
That's good to know, because guess what? I'm making my 2026 TBR, and it's on there.
I can't believe you're going to wait till 2026. That's how much I love this series.
I know that another book is coming out. So I kind of just would love to hear when that one's coming out.
Yeah, that's fair. I honestly didn't realize whenever I started it that there was a third book until I was already too invested. So I couldn't
I get it.
put it down. I had to know what happened.
One of the books I read was Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. I read this in anticipation of our Stephanie Garber event that we're going to in October. I'm very, very excited. This story follows Evangeline Fox, and this is a very whimsical storybook type of setting, right? Curses and true love and monsters and everything. Basically, the man that she is in love with is now set to marry her stepsister. And she's like, there's absolutely no way that could happen. He had to be placed under a curse. So then she searches out for the Prince of Hearts, which is kind of like a fate. And she is like, hey, you need to break his curse because there's just no way that he would leave me. And so, I mean, it happens kind of in a way that she didn't really ask for it to happen, as kind of tricksters and gods like to do. And then it bounces off. She ends up being like very heroic. It's a heroic act. But it really wasn't. It was a very selfish act that was performed. But the whole city is like, you're a hero, you're a hero. So then she gets chosen to represent the city in the north to go and try to be a bride of the prince of the north.
The man she loves?
No.
Oh, a different man?
A different man. He did strike a deal with the Prince of Hearts, and his name is Jax.
Okay. So there's Jax and then another prince and then the guy that she loves?
Mhm.
Double scandal.
Yeah, triple
Well, yeah,
scandal.
triple scandal.
So she still has this deal that she has not fulfilled with Jack. So, he just pops up in the north too. And so it's just the story of kind of like, of that. Of it's not so much a quest, but it's more so like just trying to figure out like who all these men are, who all these people are.
And that's the question. Who are all these men?
Who are all these men
Who let
and
them all
why?
out?
Right. I do have to say that, in which I'll talk about the other two because I read the whole trilogy this month. This was my least favorite of the three.
That's rough when it's the first book too.
Yeah. And I mean, I was motivated because we're going to go see her.
Mhm.
This is not a bad book. I just it was incredibly predictable, and like the couple of twists that happened towards the end was again presented as twists, and I was like, is this supposed to be shocking?
Yeah, because it's like it's already been spelled out for you.
Yes,
Yeah.
like spoon fed.
Is this YA?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, don't sleep on YA.
Don't sleep on YA. Absolutely not. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, so that's why it got it didn't do much for me.
Yeah.
I loved the environment we were in, and again, like there's like dragons and like little baby dragons, and
Ooh,
again everything's
babies.
very storybook, and I wish I could have half the dresses that she wears in this, that
Yeah.
kind of thing. But yeah,
Like
the
fairy tale less.
very fairy tale,
I can get
absolutely.
behind that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
Mhm.
but it was just very predictable, so that's why it's my least favorite.
Okay. But our book club, the one of our book club members like said the whole series is
It's like one of her
yeah.
favorites.
The next book I read was The Night Prince, and this is a sequel to The Wolf King by Lauren Paul Freeman. This book starts off with Aurora surviving the Wolf King, and her and Colum, are just doing their thing. But obviously, there's still a war going on between wolves and humans. But now there's also a war between wolves and wolves. So more problems, more issues. Aurora still doesn't know if she's safe or not. Then she has Callum, who is just like grumpy, like protector, which we like, yeah. But then there's also another guy who is in the first book, but we get more of him in this one. And he's like the dark, moody, grumpy wolf. Enter Blake. Now enter your love triangle.
Oh, dang.
So, yeah, I ate this book up. I completely devoured it. But yeah, just follows them on more of their issues between the Wolf King, which the Wolf King is actually brothers to Callum, so that's another problem there. And then she has the man that she was betrothed, like that's an issue. So there's just so many issues going on.
So, did you like this one more than the Wolf King? Yeah, I've just heard more people liking this one over the Wolf King.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say yes, I do like this one more than the first one, but that's a hard question because I really did love the Wolf King. But I think I just love the ending of this one more. It does end on a cliffhanger, which is frustrating because I want answers now, but I will be patient.
I read The Ballad of Never After, the second book, after Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. This was my favorite of the three. It redeemed a lot of problems I had with the first book. This book definitely takes more of like a quest storyline. We need to find this thing for this to happen
Hmm.
kind of situation. Evangeline, of course, still there. Jax is hanging around still. The prince is hanging around still. Don't know where her love interest is.
Wait, that's only two guys. I thought there was
I
three.
said I don't know where her love interest is. That was the third.
Oh.
Yeah, 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 yeah. we start to get to know, some other characters a little bit more, and of course, it just kind of follows the events of the first one.
Do you recommend people to continue reading the series?
I recommend people to finish out the series. The last 2 books, in my opinion, are better in the than the first one. I'm a very big plot person, and
Mhm.
this was plotting. The ending was extremely sad. Extremely sad.
Did
Um,
you cry?
no, I
Oh.
didn't.
Well, then
Another
hey, don't
another
let that
Coven
fool
member
you.
did. Another
Yeah.
Coven member cried.
Yeah, don't let that fool you. She doesn't cry on anything, so
Yeah, if I cry, then you know it's really sad.
yeah.
It was very heart-wrenching, though.
Mhm.
I will put the micro trope right here if you want to see it. I'm someone that sometimes doesn't want to see tropes, so if you wanna see it, here.
I love me a good trope list.
This book in itself, like, makes the series really, really worth it to me.
Okay, next book I read was Forged in Blood by Sadie Kincaid. This is the first book in the Broken Bloodline series. If you like dark academia, um, reverse harem, good little wide shoes moment,
I've never read a reverse harem before, or a why choose.
stop it.
I haven't.
This if you like vampires and dark fantasy,
Yeah.
this is a good one. It is very spicy, but there is a plot to it. So it follows a woman, her name, well, I guess it's a girl cuz she's in like college. Her name's Ophelia and she grew up as an orphan and kind of like picked on her whole entire life. So she's always kind of felt like an outcast, but every millennial or so, there's a child that's born and they are like marked as chosen. And so Ophelia is predicted to be this chosen one. But some say that it's not really like chosen, it's more cursed.
Mm.
We don't know which is which. So when she gets to the school, she meets some people, and again, they're mean to her. But then she kind of forms this little bond with vampires. Yep, 3 of them to be
There's
exact,
3 vampires at her college?
and a professor. Well, wait, there's a lot of magical creatures there, but there's also humans mixed involved as well, because they gotta feed on some people. So how else are you gonna live?
I stock the fridge somehow.
But yeah, no, she forms this bond with 3 other vampire college students, but they're not students really. And then also a professor.
So, what were your thoughts, your personal feelings on the book? Did you like it?
I ate it up. I loved it. Mainly just because it wasn't just straight on like only smut. There is a plot to it. And like the first and second books both end on such huge cliffhangers. It
Mhm.
is completed though. So
That's always nice. I feel
that's
like that's hard to come by.
that is a win. So, yeah, they end on such big cliffhangers, and I think that that's kinda what, like, hooked me into it, and it's fun, it's funny, there's plot to it, it's not just straight smut, which I like that. So, I recommend it, especially if you like a good reverse harem, and it's good for spooky season.
I finished out A Curse for True Love this month too.
A match your book.
You do match my book. Here, hold it.
Yeah.
Aw. So this is the conclusion of the trilogy, and I still really, really liked this book. The micro trope that I put down here, is very prevalent in this book. So if you are not a fan of the micro trope, that might be frustrating. It became a little frustrating for me. I felt like it went on a little too long. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because like again, I can't really talk about the plot too much because it's the third. There's not really.
Yeah.
It's just it's picking up all of the pieces from book 2
Yeah.
is what it is.
Did you feel like it answered all of your questions that you had? Did it wrap it up in a pretty nice bow?
It answered a lot of questions. My biggest issue was there were people that were just dropped off.
Eh, I
There's
hate that.
there's 2 characters that I can think of right now that, like, were very prevalent in book 1,
Mhm.
and they were mentioned or maybe a scene or 2 in book 2, and then book 3, nothing.
She's just where did they go?
Yeah, who knows what
Who
happened to 'em. So I found that, a little I was like, "What happened?"
You just feel like you're missing a piece.
Yeah.
That's how I
Mhm.
always feel whenever like, you don't it's one thing whenever it's meant to be like that,
Mhm.
because at least I am aware if it's not like a happily ever after, I'm
Mhm.
gonna be, like, just wrecked. But it's another thing whenever it's just, like, not intentional, and you
Yes.
just kind of it's just, gone.
So I will say in her possible defense, um, it's not a spin-off of her other series, the Caraval series, but
Mhm.
it's set in the same universe. I did not read the Caraval series. You don't have to.
Okay.
You don't have to at all.
We forgive you then.
So, but I don't know if they're gonna show up in other places, or I don't think they're a part of the Caraval. So the Prince of Hearts, Jax, is from the Caraval series, but from my understanding, he's the only character that like
Crosses.
comes from the Caraval series.
Interesting.
Another kind of issue that I had with this book, I actually loved how it ended. The timing of like how everything wrapped up and what you were expecting to happen, and then the end of the book was like not very long.
Mhm.
So like you find after like something is resolved after 3 books. So like something that we have been waiting this whole trilogy to happen, and like we maybe get 20 pages of it.
That is my biggest ick.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
is
yeah.
why I don't like the last books of Twilight, and don't come for me. I love that series, but the ending and Hunger Games, don't come for me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I get that. So that was like just frustrating because like I'm like, we've been building up to this 3 books. I
Yeah.
just wanted a little bit more time.
Yeah. I need to process all these
Yeah, yeah,
things.
yeah.
I get it.
So but
Oof.
the so someone that we end up not liking, if you like this character by the end, I don't know. But what happens to them, I feel like is very appropriate and good. Like good in a sense of like I was very satisfied with it.
I love a good satisfying moment.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I wish there was more.
Mhm.
And I don't know if it necessarily is another book more, but a little novella maybe more. I would eat up a novella after this book.
Okay, Stephanie, we need a novella.
Please.
Please.
Cuz her new book has nothing to do with this universe. It's her first adult book. It's going to be Alchemy of Secrets. So this is YA, Caraval is YA. So as
Mhm.
far as I know, it has nothing to do with it. So I feel like YA books is a very big spectrum when it comes to adults reading YA books.
Mhm.
I would put this on the end of like being a very good YA book for adults to read. I still would rate overall like Belladonna a little bit higher.
Mhm.
But it's still very good.
Yeah.
So, first book felt more like lower YA, and then the second and third was more upper YA.
Okay, next book that I read was Promise and Blood by Sadie Kincaid. This is the second book in the Broken Bloodline series. This book is continuing to follow Ophelia and her bonds with the vampires and the professor as well. It's just kind of like a found family, so that's one of the tropes in it. It's just kind of warm and lighthearted, but then also trying to figure out like what does this chosen mean, and also about her powers and her growing as a person, and then finding out that like a lot of people actually want her to use for either good or for bad. We don't know. You're gonna have to read it to find out. This book ends on such a big cliffhanger that like tore me apart. I was devastated.
So, how many books are in the series?
It's a trilogy. Yeah, so it's a trilogy, but then she also has spin-off books that do follow, kind of give like the point of view from each vampire that she is like that is in the series as well. I haven't read those. I definitely love this book more than I did the first one. Um, but yeah, I definitely would recommend it, especially if you just want something kind of one if you want smutty because it is spicy. Two, if you want something that's not like super heavy fantasy, like high fantasy, this is just it's just like it's such an easy fantasy book, I feel like, or an easy fantasy series. You don't have to pay close attention to like all of like who's who, like,
Mm,
it's just easy to follow.
yeah.
Mhm.
And fantasy sometimes that's
It
refreshing.
can get it can get intense. So, if you want smutty and if you want easy fantasy, yeah, I I would continue, especially if you made it past the first book and you liked it. Yeah, the second one is my favorite between the 2 of them so far.
We both read Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. This was our book club pick, and it was your suggestion. Congratulations. We are not going to talk too much about this book because we are going to have a separate video where we do a deep dive into it with a non spoiler and a spoiler section. And at this point, we'll probably have two book club books in that video. So keep an eye out for that. But overall, I loved it. It was so good.
And it was my first sci-fi book.
Same,
So
literally. Um, I almost think it is required for you to listen to the audiobook.
mhm.
I for all of our book club members, that didn't listen to it, there is a particular character that shows up later on in the book, and I had to play the audiobook for them, that way they could hear their voice.
Yeah.
I have not read a more satisfying ending in a long time.
This book follows a middle school teacher, Ryland Grace, and he has figured out this kind of matter called the astrophage. And so the world is in danger of like being destroyed. And so he gets involved with this group that is going to try and save the world. Long story short, he ends up on the ship. And so it kind of just follows his journey on like while he's on the ship, how he got on the ship, and all the things that he has to face. Does he save the world? I don't
Who
know. You're gonna have
knows?
to read it. But it was good. I now can say I'm a sci-fi fan.
Agree, and I cannot wait to see the movie in March.
Yeah, with Ryan Gosling. So,
He will do a very good job, I
mhm,
feel like.
mhm. Because Ryland is like he is funny. He made me laugh. But
Very
he's
much.
also incredibly intelligent.
Yes. But
Um
he's not perfect either.
He's not perfect. Yeah, so there's just so many, like, different aspects to the story, so, like, I was surprised. So my last book that I read for August was Blood and Betrayals by Jeanette Rose and Alexis Rune. This book has dark academia vibes, found family, has slow burn romance. It is obviously something that I like because it has a lot of vampires and mythical creatures, and it is in a school setting. This book follows Summer. She is a fae, and she's kind of like more of a loner as well. Summer meets a best friend who she is a vampire. They hit it off because they're both kind of loners and like to be by themselves. But the whole plot of this story is that there are people just dying, and then Summer is getting threats. So it's kind of like a murder mystery inside this book. It's like, who is killing these
Mm.
people? And it kind of seems that they are after Summer. All the people that are dying are also Fae women that look like Summer. So it's kind of like, who is up to this? Why do they want her? She also just kind of has this like dark other side of her, and she doesn't want that side of her to be unleashed. She just wants to live a happy, normal life. She meets a love interest who is an angel. So it's like light and dark. And yeah, it just follows their romance. This book also ends on a cliffhanger. Frustrating. This book is over 700 pages. So it does drag just a smidge, but the ending I cried.
The only thing I've heard about this book is how long it is.
It is very long. It is this book also drags out. We could have probably cut out, like, 2 to 300 pages, and I would have
Whoa.
understood what was happening, and we've got the point, and I do appreciate a lot of good world building description, but this was just, kind of, like, repetitiveness at a certain point. It's like,
Mhm.
I get it, like, let's get to the plot. Let's get to some action. But
Mhm.
it does get to some action. I'm definitely going to read the second book. I cannot wait. They've not finished writing it. So I do not know when the second book will be out.
Do you know how many books it'll be total? Is it supposed to be a duology, a trilogy?
I don't know that either. There's just a lot of stuff going on. There's like someone that's like stalking her. Is that the person that's killing these people? Maybe not. Maybe so. Maybe it could be someone within the faculty. I don't know. Did you know that there's gonna be 7 books in this series? She didn't know.
Did Miss Amber say that somewhere recently?
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Sarah. And book 4 is coming out in October. Well, here is my review of the second book in this 7-book series.
The Gods and Monsters series.
The Gods and Monsters series by Amber V. Nicole. I read The Throne of Broken Gods, and I really, really enjoyed it. Again, this is the second book out of 7. So it's hard to kind of go over what happened. But what I will say is that if you read book 1, literal devastation to one of our main characters happens. The first half, I would say, is really kind of picking up those pieces, burning those pieces. It's the aftermath of the first one. I would say that I really enjoyed this book. I enjoyed the found family aspect of it. We got to really deep dive and learn a lot more about the extra side characters and stuff, which I even hesitate to call some of them side characters. Really liked it. It could have been a little bit shorter. I felt like, again, that first half, that kind of like the picking up the pieces aspect, I was kind of like, I get it.
Mhm.
I got it.
Let's
I
go.
got it.
Let's
Yeah, yeah,
go.
yeah. But the thing I love about this series in particular is that I feel like I know these characters through and through.
Mhm.
I have not felt so emotionally attached to characters in most books I read. Like this really like I feel like we're buddies almost. Like
Mhm.
because I know what they're all thinking, I know their motivations, I know the relationships like and there hasn't been a single time that I'm like, "Oh, well, that character wouldn't do that," or "That's a very odd character." No, they stay within their character.
Mhm.
Amber V. Nicole is an amazing character writer.
Mhm.
And I mean, the plot is good too.
Yeah.
Plot's really, really good. It's kind of like your typical, it's your typical gods
Hot
and monsters and rulers and things like that. But yeah,
Definitely high fantasy.
I am reading the third book right now, and it does get a little bit. I don't know if complicates the word I want to use because I'm still following,
Mhm.
right? But it definitely goes deeper into like the plot and the world and things like that. I did kind of appreciate though. This one kind of sticks to like two worlds. In the first book, we bounce quite a bit. And
Mhm.
this one, we were basically in two worlds. I was like, I know exactly where we're at.
I can calm down. I can feel at ease.
Yes. But yeah, 7 books. Wow.
I give her good news. Well, if there's 7 books, there's so many people and places involved in this series. She's got a lot to talk about.
She does. And I mean, obviously I just found out a few minutes ago it's 7 books, but like I could even see the main character shifting later on in the series if that's something that had to be done.
Mhm.
I don't know. Again, I don't know if that's something she's planning or not, but like there is enough characters and enough interest in
Mhm.
those characters for me to still be invested in the story if the two main characters shifted.
Mhm. And these books are coming out as graphic audios. The
Mhm.
first part from the Book of Azrael is already out.
Mhm.
The second one is coming in November.
This is also our book club series of 2025. Also, your selection. So that's kind of why we're all reading this together.
Mhm.
Yep.
I did not know that we will probably not finish this series until 2028, but
If we're lucky. Okay, we are quickly, quickly going to go over our September TBR, our hopefuls, our wants, our dreams, what
mhm.
we want to read in
Mhm.
September. In September, I want to read Calabasas by R.F. Kuang for obvious reasons. We already saw her, and I cannot wait to descend into hell, which is what this book is about. Then I want to read The 7-Year Itch by Amy Dawes because this is our book club book for September. If you would like to join our book club through Fable, you can go chapter by chapter as you're reading it and share your thoughts. Spoiler, I've already shared a couple thoughts on there. So, yeah. So I got to read this for book club.
Also, mind you, this is the second book in a series, but they're standalones. You can read them separately.
I'm very excited to start Kingdom of the Wicked by Carrie Maniscalco. This has been on my TBR for a very, very long time. And 2025 has kind of been my year of the trilogies. I really wanted to get a lot of trilogies off my TBR. It's about to be spooky season. This cover screams spooky.
Mhm.
So I'm very excited to start this trilogy.
You'll have to let me know. It's been on mine for a very long time.
And then I'm going to read Six Scorched Roses by Carissa Broadbent. I'm kind of reading it out of order a little bit. You're supposed to read this novella between books one and book two. I've already read book two, but I'm trying to catch up on the standalones because I want to do the next set of the duologies before the end of the year. So I'm going to read that. I am also going to read Dawn of the Cursed Queen by Amber V. Nicole to continue our Gods and Monsters series in preparation for book 4 out of 7.
We're not over it.
And
Yeah.
and because book 4 comes out in October.
Mhm.
So that is my September hopefuls. So what are yours?
I have big goals for September. In September, I do have 3 arcs that I need to read. The first one is Dangerous Little Dares by Charlie Lennon. I actually met her through TikTok. She's very sweet and cute, and I was fully there to support her. This releases September 24th. So I am very excited to read it. It is like an older best friend's brother romance, and I love that. So, it is a romance book, and I'm not a big romance girly, but we're gonna give it a go. So the next book is also an arc read. It is Wings of Ash and Flame by Jocelyn Blue. This book releases September 25th. It is based off of like if you love Fourth Wing and Zodiac Academy, yes and yes. So I'm very excited about that. And then the last arc that I have for September is Fate's Guardian, and this is by Kiara A. Reynolds. This is going to be released September 30th, and this is a fantasy romance about dragons. If it has dragons in it, I want it. So I'm very excited. All right, the next book I'm going to read is It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. We are going to go see her, and I haven't read any of her books, so I just want to be kind of prepared with like her writing style. Yeah, I'm excited. Well, this book is actually the reason why I picked this one is because you told me that it's going to be a movie. So I was just like,
That's what the internet told me. So,
yes, let me sign up for that. Next on my list is The Games Gods Play by Abigail Owen. I want to read this because the next book is coming out in October and I hear nothing but great things. So I really do want to be prepared and read it whenever it comes out. In September, I also want to read the Edge of Darkness trilogy. I hear nothing but amazing things on TikTok, especially if you loved Flock. People told me to read this because if you want to be devastated, go and do it. And I guess I do. And I'm gonna do immersive reading on this one, and Teddy Hamilton is one of the narrators.
Ooh.
So
Teddy Hamilton is also, a narrator for The 7-Year Itch.
yes,
S
I did know that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
We love Teddy.
Yes, we do. Our book club book is The 7-Year Itch, but we didn't know at the time that it is the second book in the series, and I can't start at number 2. Although they are standalones in the series and you can read them by themselves, I can't do it. So I plan on reading the 9-month contract by Amy Dawes, and then also I will read 7-Year Itch as well. In September, I'm gonna finish up the Broken Bloodline series. This is Bound in Blood by Sadie Kincaid. Very excited to start it because the second book ended on such a big cliffhanger. I have to know what happens. There are multiple narrators for this audiobook, and it is really good. I also need to read the Book of Azrael and Throne of Broken Gods in September to prepare for the fourth book out of
Out of
7
7,
in the Gods and Monsters series.
you're gonna love them.
Yeah, I think I will eat this up so much. I love high fantasy. I just love books. I don't know.
We love books.
I don't know why. It was my series, so I'm very excited about it. I've been wanting to read it. I didn't know it was 7 books, and I'm sorry, but I'm not. Actually, I have a question. Do you think I will read all these books in September?
I think that you will read the same amount, but not all the books that you have laid out. I think you're gonna pick out a different book that you've not presented today.
I am such a mood reader. I can't stick to the plan. Like you are like, I am reading these books this month, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm not feeling this.
I'm on reading timeline part 11, so I changed my mind.
Changing minds is like I couldn't even have a part 11 because I would be at part like 569. It is changing by the day. Like the Edge of Darkness wasn't even on my radar because I have so many other books I need to read. The Shades of Magic that I've started and I haven't finished.
What is on your TBR this month? Please let us know down below. Have you read any of the books that we talked about today? What's your thoughts? What's your feelings?
Let us know if you think there's a trilogy that we should read.
Mm.
Something probably that's not 7 books because she is committed. She'll have to finish it, but she doesn't want to be that committed.
Correct. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Coven members. See you next time. Bye.